Here we are again with my old friend, colleague, and Hall of Famer, Steve Flink. Let's talk, Steve, about the ladies tournament, about should I call her? This big boss of the women tennis, Ashley Barty, or the I don't know. She has been dominating the whole tournament, but the final only when she started to imitate Serena Williams in 2015 when Serena played Roberta Vinci.
Yes, but she didn't go as far. Serena lost. At least Ash was the winner yesterday. No, it was a great tournament, Ubaldo, because yes, she almost lost the second set to Danielle Collins in the final. She was down 5-1 second set and came back to win it 7 points to 2 in a tie break. That was a very spirited comeback. But the whole tournament, her level of play was very high. You and I have bemoaned the fact at times that there's too much unpredictability in women's tennis, not enough continuity. But I love the fact that Ash has now won her third major, and it was her most convincing win yet. Did very well to win the French a couple of years back, and then won Wimbledon last year and did a nice job there to hold off Pliskova. But this was her most convincing fortnight ever at a major. And I get the feeling, Ubaldo, that she's going to keep, that maybe we'll have a period of years here where she will pick up a couple of majors a year. I think she's that good now that she can start winning them regularly. Not to say winning a Grand Slam, but say of the 4 majors each year, she'll win her share, 1 or 2 at least each year for a period of years now. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I do agree, especially because she's a very complete player. Let's say that this tournament, she didn't have strong opponents because she beat all players who were quite low ranked. Well, actually, she never beat a top 10 player in the 3 slams she won, but she won it in 3 different surfaces. So
yeah,
she won in Wimbledon on grass. She won in Paris on clay. She's winning now on hard court. So since I don't know if you agree or not, in my opinion, Naomi Osaka could be her strongest rival if everything would go smooth. But Osaka is strong only on hard court. She didn't show any particular quality on grass or on clay.
Yes, and we were deprived. That's interesting that you bring her up because we almost had them play here in the round of 16, but Anna Samova saved a couple of match points to beat Osaka. So we didn't get to see her play, Ash Barty, but I could see them playing some very big finals in the years ahead, particularly on the hard courts, as you said, because Naomi still has to prove herself on grass and clay. But I could easily see some finals in Australia and the US Open between those two. And she looked, even though she lost here, Ubaldo, I thought Osaka played a good match and had a very positive attitude and didn't sound discouraged when it was over. So I'm encouraged about her. And as for Barty, she just takes her game. I'm not worried about the fact that she didn't beat top 10 players. I mean, as an example, Madison Keys was a finalist at the US Open in 17. Sometimes a player is, you're meeting them, their ranking is low, but they're playing much better tennis than their ranking would indicate. And true of Collins too. Collins is going to break the top 10 now. So she's not really, we shouldn't look at her as if she was the world number 20 seed. She's a better player than that. I think Ash can, there isn't anybody in the top 10 that I don't think she can beat when she's at her best.
Yeah. Well, I do agree. But she had lost only 20. Barty had lost only 21 games before she reached the final. 21 games. It's 3 games and half average for match. And it reminded me, and you must for sure remember because in stats you're much better than I am, that Mr. Rafa Nadal back in '78 won his third Roland Garros, losing only 32 games in 7 matches, which was 4 games and a half for each match. And he gave to my friend Bertolucci, he gave him only 4 games. 6-2, 6-love, 6-2. To Barazzuti, 6-love, 6-1, 6-love. I mean,
Oh,
and
you're
that
talking
was,
about Borg. You said Nadal, but you're talking about Borg, aren't you?
oh
Ubaldo?
yeah, I was talking about
Yeah,
Borg. So maybe
right.
I made, I
Yeah,
got confused. Yeah, I was talking about Borg in
yeah,
78
right,
when he
right.
we lost only 32 games
Yeah,
in, I don't know if I said Nadal, I must be confused because I always compare
well, yeah,
the
they're
dominance between
right.
of Nadal and Borg on clay, because uh, Nadal has won 13 slams. Borg only 6, but he stopped playing at 26. If he would have played until 36, maybe he would have won many more, the
Yeah,
way he was
but
dominating tennis. So anyway, Barty has been impressive this tournament. And then it was very difficult for her to win in front of her crowd, in her public. That's why when she played the second set against Collins, she was a little bit fragile in her mind.
she was, but then I thought she really elevated her game when she got down 5-1, because it's pretty hard to beat somebody like Collins, who returns serve that well and she's a big hitter. And it could have been that Ash was thinking to herself, I must give up on this set and start serving in the third set. She didn't do that. She just got right back in the set, broke Collins when Collins had 2 chances to serve it out. I was impressed with that. She ended the match on a very high note by pulling out the second set.
Yeah, in the women's tournament, it was quite different, the situation in the upper part of the draw, other upper half, and the lower half, because in the lower half, in the quarters of final, you had Collins, okay, she's number 30, or now she's 10, Cornet 61, who had never reached quarterfinals in a slam ever, Sviontek, who is number 9, and that's okay, and Kanepi, who is number 115. True that Kanepi played some great Wimbledon in the past, but still, still quite surprising draw at that point, because Sabalenka had lost, Vondrousova had lost. I mean, so many upsets. Raducanu keeps losing. And the 2 girls who were in the final at the US Open, they're quite disappointing at this moment this year.
Yes, as you said, at this moment. And maybe this year, neither one will necessarily do that well, but they're so young. I think in the long run, they will reemerge. Because I don't think it was such an accident that they made the final. They played great tennis at the US Open. And you're right, they have struggled mightily since. But I think it'll turn around again. Part of it is the pressure.
Which one of the 2 you think has more future?
I tend to think Raducanu. I think that Fernandez is a great strategist, but I think Raducanu could be a greater player. That was my feeling coming away from that final, and just looking at her mentality. But they both are very strong mentally, and I think that I believe that they will recapture.
You think they're both strong mentally, or because they're losing so much now, they're not so strong mentally?
Well, yes, no, that can happen, but I think they will recover it. Right now, they have no confidence. Neither one has any confidence, but I'm pretty confident that they will come back strong, if not later this year, by next year.
Okay, listen. About the Collins, I think she's a great character. I mean, she's nice to watch. I mean, she went through quite a few troubles. I mean, the worries, and I mean, healthy, difficult situation on her health. So it's interesting. I mean, and then she's 28, I think. So she still has some years in front of her. No?
Oh, she does. I think she's got at least 3 or 4 very, very good years ahead of her. And if she stays healthy, which she should now, I think then we'll see some consistency from her that we have not seen in the past. And looking at her game, she's very imposing. She puts a lot of pressure on you. Her backhand could be the best in the women's game right now. And if she can improve her serve a little bit, she's a great returner, very aggressive. I think she's going to do well in the rest of the majors this year. I think she could have and of course her ranking going up apparently to the top 10, that will enable her to have better draws as well. So things are looking up for Collins.
Yeah. Okay. So which was, there was anything that surprised you as much in the women's tournament as we had this big surprise, let's say, in the men's draw, especially, of course, in the final? Did you see, and do you have anything that you didn't really expect in the women's draw?
No, I did. The one thing I expected, and we just alluded to it a moment ago, I did think that Osaka would play Barty, and I was looking forward to that meeting, and I was a little surprised that she lost to Anisimova, but I don't think she played badly. No, aside from that, nothing too shocking. I was pleased to see that Keys was enjoying herself on the court again. Her attitude had improved, and she played some of her most reliable tennis in a long time. And I think her ranking will go back up again. Ubaldo. Keys will get by the summer, I think we'll see her back in the top 20.
Okay. And what about Sabalenka? Because she's number 2 in the world. And then also, I was disappointed by Muguruza because Muguruza, I did expect her to do well. Instead, she didn't do well at all.
Muguruza is another one of those players that I use the word enigmatic about Medvedev. She is too. She's confusing. She's so much better than her results. I don't understand you, Ubaldo. She has the good all-around ability. She's powerful. She hits the ball big off both sides. Good serve, champion's mentality. But once again, that was disappointing. And I hope that she won the year-end championship. She was great at the end of last year. Yeah. And then last year in the Australian Open, she had a couple of match points against Osaka before Osaka went on to take the title. I don't understand Muguruza's the fact that she's so in and out with her tennis, and I wish she would become one of the players that you could count on to be in the latter stages of majors. It hasn't been happening. I thought, like you did, that she'd do very well here.
And what about Sabalenka? Because Sabalenka also is unpredictable. I mean,
yeah, Sabalenka has all these service yips, and she's tried to solve it. She's her own worst enemy. She's just way too streaky, and she's also very highly strung. She's very nervous, and you see it, you feel it. Even in matches where she seems to have control, you never know when she's gonna suddenly go off her game. She worries me. I think Muguruza doesn't have that kind of a game. Muguruza has a pretty reliable game, which is why I think in some cases she's losing the matches mentally. But Sabalenka, I wouldn't know whether to pick her to win a tournament or lose in the first round.
Okay, listen, thanks a lot, Steve. It was nice as usual, interesting, entertaining to talk with you. And we will chat soon together again, maybe before those tournaments, Miami, Indian Wells, unless already for Rotterdam, if Djokovic goes there, Medvedev goes there, Nadal, we don't know. That could be another interesting tournament.
Or Dubai, and Djokovic is supposed to play in Dubai. So whenever you want to do it, Ubaldo, I look forward to speaking again.
Okay, thanks a lot to my old friend, colleague, and Hall of Famer, Steve Flink. See you soon.
All right, thank you, Ubaldo.